You could argue a lot of people are using big tech like Tesla, Apple, Amazon as a store of value. They've lost faith in the currency. They know they can't invest in negative yielding bonds. They're not quite sure about gold. I mean, gold is defective. It's an antiquated store of value. It was the best store of value for 5,000 years until we invented the computer, ZZ, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's like the Canon camera was the best way to take photos, and we put photos in shoeboxes in our attic until we invented the iPhone. It was a good idea until it became not a good idea. Libraries were a good idea until Google gave away 1 million books for a nickel for everybody on Earth. And then it became not so good an idea.
Is this your homework, Larry?
Ask him about the car, man.
Is this yours, Larry? Is this your homework, Larry?
Is that your car out front?
Is this your homework, Larry?
We know it's his fucking homework. Where's the fucking money, you little brat?
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Johnny here, and man, do I have some bullish news about Bitcoin for you guys. But I also have some potentially bearish news as well. We'll go over this chart that says Bitcoin could be headed towards $67,000 in the short term. Also, we'll look at some fractals from the last time Bitcoin had an amazing run up and how we might be set for a short-term correction here in the short term. We'll talk about the institutional FOMO absolutely kicking into high gear. You had Scott Minerd in a conveniently placed segment on Bloomberg TV saying Bitcoin right now should be worth $400,000. We'll talk about the date of January 31st, 2021 and how it might be a pretty important date for the Bitcoin price. The Fed is at it again, announcing more quantitative easing. We'll talk about how this will affect the dollar and therefore affect the Bitcoin price. And $1.6 billion worth of Bitcoin could be headed towards the market here soon, but we'll talk about an urgent plea to prevent that from happening, as this $1.6 billion worth of Bitcoin might hit the market that was seized in 2015 from the Silk Road hack. But this potentially bearish news could be extremely bullish. We will wrap it up with a few altcoin picks for you guys. We are about to have an explosive altcoin season, and I have 4 picks for you that are almost guaranteed to perform well in this next altcoin season. Thanks for stopping in with me, guys. Today is going to be a great episode. Don't forget to hit that like and don't forget to hit that subscribe and ding that bell to stay up to date on all of the latest and the greatest. Are you new to crypto and looking to make some real money trading this market? Join my VIP trading group and get my trades and chart setups in real time, plus a ton of educational content. We've been killing it this year, and if you're trying to make some real money, we will help you reach your goals. There's a link to a PDF with membership information in the description below for more. All right, I hope you are all having an amazing Friday. We are looking at the Bitcoin daily chart here. Again, we got this move to the upside followed by a little consolidation double bottom into an ascending triangle, and then Bitcoin broke out of this ascending triangle back on the 16th. Now, we did get a nice run up here. Bitcoin is consolidating right around the $23,000 level, as I mentioned earlier, and we are waiting to see just what Bitcoin plans to do, if we are going to get continuation or if we are going to get a dump to the downside. Now, Bitcoin is in a nice looking bull flag here. If we go ahead and zoom in just a little bit, you could see, if we draw our trend line here, looks like a nice symmetrical triangle or a bull flag here. And we are looking for a breakout out of this pattern, which would put Bitcoin all the way up near $27,633. Now, if this is indeed a bull flag, how we will take the measured move of this is we'll go from the beginning of the move to the top, and then we'll place this arrow at the point of breakout. So if we break out right there, boom, right up to the measured move at $27,633. Now, another way to do this is to take a Fibonacci extension tool and go from the previous low of the corrective move to the previous low of the most recent corrective move, and that gives us right at Bitcoin is right now holding support right above the 1272 extension, and we could be looking at a move up past the 1618, which would be extremely bullish. And it just so happens that our measured move from the bull flag matches the 272 Fibonacci extension. Now, I do have an idea that shows Bitcoin could be headed all the way up to $32,000 here, or $36,000. Let's go ahead and take another Fibonacci extension tool. Let's go back to the daily chart. All right. And if we take our tool here from the bottom of the move back in March of this year to the top there, down to the most recent correction before the parabolic move, we get a Fibonacci extension with a 1-to-1 extension right here at $31,710. But our 1618 extension is all the way up here at $65,271. Now, that is a very, very, very possible move for Bitcoin. Whether or not I see it before we get a correction to the downside, I don't know, but it definitely is possible. So right now we are just playing this move up to the measure move, hoping for a bullish breakout out of that bull flag. Now, the bullish case is absolutely solid for Bitcoin right now. Institutional FOMO is kicking into high gear in a conveniently placed segment on Bloomberg the other day, right before the Fed's Jerome Powell was set to give a press conference. They had Scott Minerd from Guggenheim Investments on their show talking about Bitcoin being should be worth $400,000. And then he goes on to talk about his investment into Bitcoin. Now, they filed with the SEC and they are just waiting to hear back. So I dug up their 485A POS and boom, January 31st, 2021. That may be a pretty big day for Bitcoin. We might see the price pump shortly after this is in effect. Now, we've got the Fed printing an absolutely absurd amount of money, over 20% of the entire US dollar supply in under a year. And this goes on to say that they're going to continue the $120 billion a month purchase of bonds until substantial further progress has been made toward the committee's maximum employment and price stability goals. What I don't think that they understand, or they do understand and they just don't care, is if you're buying stocks and bailing out failed businesses in the stock market and buying these bonds, it's not going to do anything but cause the dollar to be hyperinflated. It says here the dollar index broke below 90 with very little fanfare. That's Peter Schiff, not my favorite guy, but sometimes he does say something that makes sense. He's saying he expects a bit more noise when the dollar breaks below 80. And the way it's moving right now, it's definitely a possibility. Let's go ahead and take a look at the dollar. So this is the DXY daily chart. You could see when we got this pump back in early March when the markets crashed, your classic case of supply and demand. People wanted to sell their interests in stocks, and what are they selling them for? Dollars. So dollar goes in demand, dollar pumps, right? That's a lot of money coming into the dollar. And then ever since, we've had this slow bleed of the dollar just continuously losing value as the Fed continues to print money. So this trend does not appear to be ending anytime soon. In fact, I really see the dollar heading down to 84% on the index, followed by a move down to 79, followed by another move down to 74. Now, if you've been watching our videos, a couple videos ago, I did talk about the inverse correlation between Bitcoin and the DXY. Basically, for every 1% move to the downside out of the DXY, we're seeing anywhere from a 10 to a 15% move to the upside out of Bitcoin. And for every 1% move to the upside out of the DXY, we're seeing about a 15 to 20% move to the downside out of Bitcoin. So with quantitative easing continuing to be, a part of the Fed's game plan, the dollar's going to continue to bleed, and we're going to see that reflected in the Bitcoin price. Now, we're also going to see that reflected in the S&P 500's price, with it just continuing to make new all-time highs. So this is the S&P 500 weekly chart, and you can see we've got this extremely strong bearish divergence from this high to this high. So we have a higher high in price action and a lower high in the RSI, and we've got another one here, and it looks to be forming another bearish divergence here. So what this says to me is that we should be expecting a market crash sometime very soon. Now, this is the weekly chart, so this could take some time to play out, but a corrective move anywhere from 25 to 35% is in order. If the S&P is going to continue its movement to the upside, we should get it to hold support right at the 618, right around 2785. But if it breaks the 618, we could expect some further potential downside out of the DXY. If we take a look at the total crypto market cap, again, looking very bullish. It also broke out of this ascending triangle to the upside. It came up and almost hit our target at the 618 extension, right at 673, almost $674 billion. But we are the same with Bitcoin. We are looking for a continuation move out of this bull flag. So, things are looking very, very, very strong for Bitcoin. Now, with all of this, now that we know all of this and we can build our bullish case for Bitcoin, we want to figure out what kind of trades we should be looking to get into. So, in the video a couple of days ago, we did discuss this trade getting in right at $17,949. We did get in and got a nice move to the upside, but we did take profit here just because I wasn't sure, how this move was going to end, because it was so strong of a move to the upside. It could very well be a Bart Simpson pattern. We don't know yet, but the way things are going with all of the fundamental bullish news going on right now, I really don't think that this is going to move back down, but it is very possible. So, Guggenheim Investments, Scott Minerd, talked about a $400,000 Bitcoin. Now, you might be saying, that is absolutely insane. There is no way Bitcoin is going to get to $400,000. You know what? And I have an idea for you guys. I'm going to show you this idea, and it's going to put things into a little perspective, and we could be seeing $400,000 in this coming market cycle. So if we take a Fibonacci extension tool and we go from the low before the previous 2017 bull run to the high, and then we go down to the low that we saw in January of 2019, this gives us some potential targets here for this bull run, for this entire bull market. All right, so we are already at the 3A2 extension. I think our next target is about $35,000 right at the 0.5, followed by our next at the 618 at $62,360, followed by our one extension just under 400,000 US dollars, adding some more bullish confluence to Mr. Minerd's idea of a $400,000 Bitcoin. Now, Guggenheim, that's not it. They don't just have their CIO out here making bold statements about Bitcoin. They are getting ready to get into the game. So they filed their 485A, and they are approved by the SEC, but it doesn't go into effect until January 31st, 2021. So this could be a very important day for Bitcoin, basically letting open some more floodgates as money continues to pour pour in to this market. Some more bullish, potentially short-term bearish news, and this is a really important article. So the title of the article is Urgent Plea to Prevent Auction of $1.6 billion in Bitcoin seized from the Silk Road hackers. So this money, or this Bitcoin, was seized back in, when is it, 2015 or 2014, when they busted the Silk Road guy. So 144,000 Bitcoins. That is insane. Back then, it was only worth 122 million, which is still a lot of money. But now this is an absolutely insane amount of money, $1.6 billion to be exact. But the thing is here, so this guy, Pierre Rochard, he's desperately pleading with the government right now, or the marshals, to not auction this off. Not for any reason other than the possibility of Bitcoin becoming a global reserve currency. Basically letting them know that auctioning off this Bitcoin now could be one of the biggest mistakes the US government makes. He says here, in quote, "The Federal Reserve can create an infinite quantity of US dollars, the proceeds received in the auction," right? Bitcoins cannot be created out of thin air, and there is a limited quantity of them. A large strategic reserve of Bitcoin may be crucial for our national security. You know, someone had to come out and say it, and I'm surprised that it really took something like this for this case for Bitcoin to really kind of be on these people's radar. But, you know, this could be short-term bearish. We might see 166,000 Bitcoin hit the market. But at the same time, you know, if they keep it and hold on to it, it just further adds some weight to the case that Bitcoin will be the next global reserve currency. All right, guys. So let's go over this trade really quick. Again, let's go ahead and zoom back into the 2-hour chart. So I gave you the targets that we're looking for. We are in this bull flag. We are consolidating. So what are we doing? Are we trading this? What are we doing? So typically I would say, you know, taking a trade in a spot like this is not a good idea, because we really don't know what price action is doing. We're in price discovery mode. There's not really much to refer to. Actually, there's nothing to refer to. So this is what we're looking at here. So what we are going to do, let's go ahead and zoom into this a bit more so we can try to get an idea of where price action might come down to. What we're going to do is we are going to put our buy order right here. Okay. So that's going to be our first buy order. And then we're going to put in another one just below, about right here. And then another one right here. Okay. And then we will have our stop loss right below the lowest low of this consolidation pattern. These should be green. Okay. So we should, you know, get at least one or two of these buy orders filled. And we'll be looking for a breakout across this upper trend line with a volume confirmation, followed by a move up to our target. So we'll have our buy order set, our stop loss set, and our take profit level set. Again, you know, low leverage. We're not trying to lose about a bunch of money. You have to keep in mind $100 in Bitcoin today could be $10,000 in Bitcoin next year, or the year after, or 10 years. You have to be very protective over your bags. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin market cap dominance has been in this descending broadening wedge for quite some time. We did break out of this here, and it looks like it's going to possibly continue to the upside. So we came up, we met resistance or support here at the 0.5 extension. Move to the 1-1 is pretty likely here. I really see it coming up here. So that would take Bitcoin dominance back up over 70%, which could be pretty bad for altcoins. Now, if Bitcoin does get rejected here and come back down to this trend line, we could see a pretty awesome pump out of altcoins. Speaking of altcoins, so I promised you guys 4 altcoin picks in today's video. Here's number 1. This is Ctsi. on the daily chart, and this is in Bitcoin. So I do not trade in USDT pairs because I don't give a blip about USD or USDT. My whole trading strategy is to acquire and accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. So this is our trade here. So we had our buy order right here at, what is this level? 223 Satoshis. And we've got our first take profit here, about 71.75%. And our next take profit here at 533 Satoshis. This will be a pretty good hold, fairly low risk. I definitely see this coin kind of doing a little bit. It should have a pretty good alt season. But then we have Cardano. So ADA BTC 1 day chart. I've got 2 buy orders here. We came down. This would be our first aggressive buy. So we did put one in there. We've got our second right here at about 656 Satoshis. And then our third all the way down at 566 Satoshis. And then of course our stop loss down below the yearly Fibonacci support number 3. And you know, if we meet this first target, we're going to get 126%. And then the second 238.87%. Guys, you should know these are very conservative targets. I really see Cardano doing some big things in this coming alt season. So here's YFI. YFI came up. We did get met resistance and rejected at the yearly Fib R1. Moving to the downside, I've got my aggressive buy right here at 0.929277 Bitcoin. This one should perform pretty well, guys. I know it's already up quite a bit, but YFI is very promising in this coming alt season. And then last but not least, I saved the best for last, Theta. Theta is in a very good buying position right now. We should see some insane gains over this next alt season with Theta. Again, I got my buy order here right on the neckline of this inverse head and shoulders or cup and handle. Stop all the way down here, about 24% below. But we have a profit or risk reward ratio of 14.3, which is pretty outstanding. Again, these are just spot trades, no leverage, no nothing. We're just looking to get up to this take profit number 3. So our first take profit level will be right here at 6,232 Satoshis, 102%. And then, you know, we'll kind of see and play out price action, but we should come up and meet our last target right here at 13,758 Satoshis. And that's it, guys. I thank you so much for dropping in. It's been a really exciting week. I hope you guys are having a good time trading. I hope you guys are successful. Go ahead and please join our Telegram group. I post profitable trade setups literally every day. So we are in there. We're killing it. And I hope to see you guys in there. But that's it. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.
10.
let's go for main engine start.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And booster ignition, liftoff of Space Shuttle Discovery, taking the space station to full power for full science.
This is Mission Control Houston.
Discovery roll program.
Roger roll, Discovery.
Discovery's roll maneuver is complete. It is now in a heads down position on track for its flight to the International Space Station.